So that was a little bit about working with the templates, with the items, adding fields, adding sections. Of course, we can also sort the sections, the fields, by just dragging and dropping, which also makes it a little bit easier than it is in the template manager. One final thing, I have an immediate view on the instances that are using this template as well. And I can click on it to get a link to all those instances that are using this specific template. Okay. Right, so let's move on to actually test this content. Now we have added in worked with the item. We have chosen the Los Angeles as a related destination. Now I would need to create a presentation component in order for this to show up on the website, of course. I was planning to do this in an XSLT, but listening to my boss yesterday, apparently he's not, well, he was fond of XSLT, now John talked him out of it, so unfortunately I'll have to do this with a sub-layout. Actually, that was the plan all along. So let's add that sub-layout in. Normally you would add that from the developer center in order to get both the item created and the physical file created. If you just add it from the Visual Studio, we know we have to manually create the item afterwards and then do the connection. Well, when we add the component from Rux, it's just adding a new item in the normal way that we would in Visual Studio, but instead of choosing from the C# templates, we now have the Sitecore templates, and there's a bunch of them. We're going to look at a few of the other ones later on, but this actually helps us both build new pipelines, build new rules, both rules, actions and rule conditions. You can see there's a little speed there as well, so that has actually been added already. And on the renderings, we can add sub-layouts and XSLTs. So I'm going to add a new sub-layout, and I'm going to call it show related, if I can spell. Related destinations. Add. Now I don't know, on my computer this takes a little while. I've seen this done a lot quicker, but now it actually works in the background to open up the Sitecore content tree to ask me where do I want to put the associated Sitecore item. And it automatically suggests if it can find the same path as I have the item or the physical file in, it will suggest that I put it in the same path in Sitecore. So under content, it's fine. I'm going to add that in there, and that adds in the item as well. So now I have my item and I have my physical file, and they are connected. I can rename my physical file. I can move it to another location. The item will be kept in sync, so you don't need to worry about updating the item afterwards. Another thing we can do is right-click on the item, and in the Sitecore menu, I can click the Edit Item. So from there, I can go directly into the associated item and update the data source location, data source template, all the different things we can work with, configuring this specific presentation component. So a very quick way of getting to that item as well. Now, if I've already built a ton of user controls that has not been connected with Sitecore yet. I did create them through the developer center, so I have the item, but they are not connected because I did that before I actually installed Rux. There's also a way out of that. So I conveniently have one called old user control created without Rux, and if I right-click on that one under the Sitecore menu, I can say bind file to item, and thus bind it to the existing item, definition item.